What is good, you guys? My name is Seapeekay, host of the All Things MCC podcast, where, will you believe it, we talk about all things MCC. If you are listening to this on Spotify, please do rate it 5 stars, because we are climbing the leisure charts, which is where they put video game podcasts. And our guest today is the wonderful Hannahxrose. Hello, Hannah.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm very good. This is great. It's exciting because I've never had a one-time MCC participant on, and it was actually literally someone in my Twitch chat. I was talking about who I should have next, and I was like, "What do you get, Hannah? Like, it's gonna be such an interesting perspective because Hannah's only done one event." I was like, "That's genius." So here we are. All right, so it all worked out, and we're gonna start off nice and easy. All right, nothing terrifying.
All right.
So now that you're here, how did you find, in general, your first MCC? How was it?
I thought it was better than I expected. I thought I was going to do not good. I thought I was going to do like bottom half.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like there was so much pressure to do well. So I was like, oh my gosh, all that pressure is going to get to me. I'm going to do not as well as I hoped, but I did better than I thought. And my team placed 4th, which is way better than I feel like most people thought, which is super cool. Oh yeah, I saw your prediction.
Listen, I mean, I think it was it's one of those things where it was fair to say, like, I figured you would do well, but it was one of those things where, like, until the event is so different. I mean, I'm sure you have some understanding of this. You play in a bunch of events. I don't know what it is with MCC. I feel like some people who are like unreal at the game come in and it just doesn't transfer over well. But I mean, this leads in great, because one of the things I had written down was, did you feel a lot of pressure going into the event? And off the back of that, were you more worried about like letting people down, or like letting down yourself? Because I know you're competitive 100%. So were you more focused on like, oh, people will be like, oh, she didn't do so well? Or would it be like, I didn't do so well?
I think it's a mixture of both. For me, I always want to do, as best as I possibly can. And when I don't do the best that I can, no matter the placement, like if I end an event and I'm like, wow, like I could have done better, I just feel so bad about myself. I don't know what it is. I feel like you're like, might be like that too. You're competitive. I feel like that's just the competitive nature. But then again, like on Reddit and Twitter and everywhere, everyone was super hyping up like my debut as like a MCC participant. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like these people are expecting a lot, and that I feel like that was even more daunting than me putting pressure on myself. So yeah, I think it's definitely both.
Yeah, I mean, this is what's so interesting from my point of view, as someone who's been in MCC since like MCC 2. I was awful. Like, I was not good at MCC. Like, I mean, I say not good. I always floated between 20th and 12th, somewhere in that region, which, as I'm very competitive, so I didn't like that. And then it wasn't until like MCC 6, MCC 7, I just really wanted to start grinding to get better at the game, because I was like so fed up of not doing well. So I've had this like lovely transition of people being like, he's not that great, to being like, oh, he's kind of good now. He's all right. Whereas I can never understand the pressure of coming into the event when people already think you are good, and I
don't think I'm good. So the fact that so many people think that, it's like, what is going on? I
mean, I feel like you've got a pretty good track record of being good at Minecraft in general, but also I will say that it's so weighted that if you are good at PvP, people assume you will be good at MCC. Like, they disregard the fact that you can't practice build mod, or like, how do you, I mean, I'll throw it in there just for the sake of it, but Rocket Spleef Rush, it's not your favorite, is it?
No, I don't even know. I don't even remember playing that game. Like, I
blacked out.
I blacked out. And I got like 36th out of everyone. And I was like, oh my God, like what happened? I don't even know how to play the game. It was just embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. And yeah, exactly. Like you don't PvP in that game like at all. So, I mean, yeah, MCC does not equal PvP. Skill.
It definitely is. It's one of those like interesting things. I mean, Rocket Spleef Rush, I honestly, again, it was one of those things out of spite, I got better at it. Like, I knew that I could be good, but I love doing, you know, like the big elytra hops where you like nose dive into the ground. And then every time someone would see me go to do it and just blow up the ground underneath me and I would fall to my death. So after 2 events of being bad at it, I was like, okay, I'll just stop being stupid while I play it now. And we're getting there. It's definitely still not one of my best, but I'm improving, and that's what it's all about.
True.
Was there anything with MCC that was not like what you expected it would be like?
That's a tough question.
Like, maybe like I don't know, like a game that you thought, oh, it'll be like this, but then it wasn't, or like whether was it as competitive as you thought it would be, or you know, there's a few things to go at, I suppose.
Yeah, I think Sands of Time was a lot different than I thought. I think I blacked out during that game too. I don't remember like anything, and I was pulling from what H-Bomb told me, what everyone has been telling me, like to like I tried to memorize like which things to skip.
Yep.
Like there's like a few rooms where H-Bomb was like, never go in there, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll never go in there. I'll never do that. So I was, you know, but it went so fast, is what I mean. I didn't expect it to go that fast. I feel like we went in and went out, and I thought we were like the first ones out. Like genuinely, when we went out of Sands of Time, I was like, oh, like I think we did all right, but I think we're probably out, like top half. We got out and we're like the last ones out. Like I see all these people and I'm like, there is no way that we spent like that much time in there. So I don't know. I feel like Sands of Time definitely not like how I thought. And also, what else? What games did we even play?
I started to worry about how much of this event you were blacked out for, Hannah. I'm going to be honest.
No. Yeah, I'm just kidding when I say that mostly. But what other games did we play?
I mean, I'm trying to think
Battlebox.
of what games you wouldn't have expected. Obviously, PvP probably went as you expected. I mean, that's PvP is PvP.
Yeah.
We played Build. Oh,
Yeah.
but I mean, the Build Mart remix thing. How was that?
That was so messed up.
Because that's now the only version of Build Mart you've played, which is a super strange concept to me.
I literally was just so mad at myself that whole round. We were just in last the whole time, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do right now. I feel like I could have studied this better. I feel like I could have done so many things better. But then again, it is something that's never really been played before. I mean, it's just Build Mart on like a different map kind of, but yeah, that was definitely a little bit stressful.
I mean, yeah, that you can see as well. Like, I think the intended effect was that a team that's really good at Build Mart wouldn't necessarily do well. Proven by the fact that I had Scott and Shubble on my team, and they're like Build Mart dead sets. Like I would have voted normal Build Mart for this event. I think we finished like 5th or something, or 4th, and I was like, for me, that's a great performance. For like Scott and Shubble, I'm sure like, you know, it's probably one of the lowest Build Mart placements they'll ever get. So I think if the intention was make it so Build Mart teams don't do well, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it.
Dude, I feel like we were baited into playing Build Mart. I feel like they wanted us, listen, hear me out. I feel like they wanted us to play Build Mart so bad. So they're like, oh, Sands of Time, everyone's favorite game, and Build Mart. Let's put it together. But they didn't actually put it together. They just put it on a Sands of Time map, and it's just Build Mart. Like, and there's mobs, but they don't even do any damage. And you can't even hit anyone. I feel like it'd be cool if you could like kill people. But yeah, I feel like we got baited.
Yep. No, I honestly...
Sorry if that's toxic.
No, the one thing I said, like even in MCC Discord, I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. I'd prefer it with death, though. Like, I don't know how you nicely say this.
Exactly. That'd be so fun. And I tweeted out like 5 seconds after Build Mart ended that I'm a Build Mart hater. And hopefully that changes one day. Like, genuinely. But as of right now, I cannot do it. Like,
it won't. I mean, I'm 22 events deep and I still hate it. So it's not looking good for you. It's really not.
I don't think it's going to change.
This is what's so interesting is that out of all the games in MCC, all the things you could prep for, you know, you're already good at movement, you're good at PvP. What did it feel like to come in and win Sands of Time? Like, that's a ludicrous sentiment. Like, that's wild.
I didn't realize how like wild that was until I talked to H-Bomb after the stream, and he's like, I literally can't believe this.
No.
You know? Yeah, so I feel like I did kind of prep for that as much as I possibly could. We used like, I'm not sure if this is dream strategy, but some, you know, a strategy where you go for the keys right away. So, like Pearl took the blue key right away. I went and did the red one, and then JoJo went down the golden like path or whatever. and someone ended up finding like the emerald. We gave it to AMZ. AMZ was the sandkeeper, opened it, and we allowed like Pearl to stay in the blue like the whole time. And then so I would come back and Jojo would come back, and Pearl, like late game, came back with 19 sand or something crazy like that, just from blue. And that allowed me to go through like 4 or 5 like little separate areas that weren't the red vault area.
Yep.
And it was just freaking crazy. Fun fact, I accidentally opened one of those chests that you put sand in for the coins by accident. And if we didn't open that, we wouldn't have gotten first place.
That's amazing. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean like by accident? Were you just like running by and was like, what's this?
Yeah, I was like, oh, what's this? I didn't think that just clicking the chest would automatically open it. I thought you had to like put it in the chest. So I was like, oh, what's this? I just subconsciously opened it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. But if we didn't open that, there was like 100 in there.
Yeah.
If we didn't open, we wouldn't have gotten first place, which is super funny. But yeah, for like prep, I VOD reviewed with H-Mom. We all VOD reviewed together as a team, and then the day before, we broke the news to AMZ that they were going to be Sandkeeper. And AMZ has a bad experience with Sands of Time from the past. It's a big meme on Twitter. Just bad experience overall. So I'm like, I'm going to make it so this is going to be the best experience of your life. And I am not qualified to do that. I am not qualified to teach anyone anything. Yeah. But we got in a call with AMZ, and I tried to teach them how to be a Sandkeeper. So we went over a bunch of VODs that were on a really nice Reddit thread that someone made, like tips and tricks.
Oh, yeah.
We watched all the Sandkeepers. We watched like Elena. We watched everyone. And after that, I'm like, AMZ, how do you feel? And they're like, I feel good. Like, I think I can do it. And I'm like,
let's go.
I know you can do it. We're going to change the world tomorrow. So then the next day, we were all really nervous. And then, we walked out. I don't know if you saw the clip of me like freaking out after we won.
I believe you got in bed at one point, I think.
Yeah. It's in the beginning of the MCC, I was like, guys, if I win a game, I'm literally going to bed. I'm going to sleep. Like, it's not going to happen. But yeah, and then we were all just screaming, so proud of AMZ because that is the reason that we did so well.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of my best like tournament moments in my whole life. Like, I've never felt like that before. I felt like I was gonna cry. Like, we all were about to cry. It was so amazing. But yeah, there's the Sands of Time story.
That's actually so cool. Like, I love that you had this whole idea of like, I'm gonna jump into bed if we win any game, and you wait to win arguably the hardest game to win as a newcomer, and you do it in game 8. Like, that's unbelievable. The combination of things there. Because I was watching the clip and you were all like so excited, as you should have been. And it was just when you just got, you was like, I'm going to bed. And I'm like, what's happening here? It's just like your chair slightly spinning. I was like, okay, yeah, go
exactly.
off. Go off.
It's just a thing that we do.
You guys really did that. You really came in and did that.
I don't know.
So now that you've done, I mean, how do you feel you did? Like, did you do as well as you wanted to do? Or, where are you at with it?
I feel like I should have done better. I feel like if I was better at PvP, I could have done better. And if I didn't make stupid, terrible mistakes and place like 40th in like Buildmar and Rocket Spleef Rush, I could have got like top 10 if I just didn't absolutely throw. I feel like consistency is actually really, really important. And I didn't really realize that. And I definitely should have studied those 2 games more, but there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm pretty satisfied with how I did. I feel like 15th is pretty okay. I think Purple got 15th, which is okay.
I mean, 15th and then 3rd, 2nd. I mean, the future's bright for Hannahxrose.
I don't. No. I don't think that I'm going to do that. My next goal is like top 10, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, already realistically, you were not that far away, and that's with never having played the games. Like you said, it's all good being good at PvP or being good at movement or anything like that, but then in this environment on stream against 36 other creators, like you said, the pressure mounts up, and you've come in, got 15th first event, build from that, and it's easily like a next MCC or the MCC after, where like you're gonna be hard chilling in the top 10 category. Just a fair warning, the better you get, the harder it is to place you in the event. That's what Scott's Major told me. So
Are you serious?
Yeah, so obviously the more OP people there are, the more he has to cycle the OP people in and out. So
no, dude,
I got to start throwing some events or something, because I'm getting a little good now, and I got to start coming like 40th this one event, and it should see me through for a few, I think.
Oh,
that's the hope. So first event is now done. do you already have, or did you have at the time, like a dream team? Or if a team is too hard to pick, because I always get asked this as well, and then you find yourself trying to pick between like 100 people that you know. What about like a dream duo, like you and someone? And let's say like the rules don't apply, because I can tell you that after coming 15th and doing well already, I feel like they're going to struggle to place you with people like Purpled and other top players. And, you know, I feel like even JoJo may be out of bounds already, you know?
I think JoJo is out of bounds. I think JoJo is completely out of bounds. And I think that's why Scott put us together, because I think he knew like that's probably someone that I really, really, really wanted to team with, because I know JoJo were friends. But okay, dream duo. This is really hard. I'm going to give you two people.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take duos.
My dream duos are, of course, me and Purple.
Yep.
Like you can't even deny that would be such a fun pairing. Like we would, I'm not even kidding. We would practice like every single day, nonstop.
Don't doubt it.
Forever. Because like we already know each other. We would just be playing like Bed Wars like we usually do. And the team chemistry there would be awesome. Second dream duo would have to be me and Puns.
Oh,
I feel like and I talked about this to my stream. I'm like, I would really want a team with Puns. I feel like we would have conflicting personalities sometimes, because we always do when we're playing games and just like pummel party and stuff. We're always just like being a little bit toxic towards each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're with someone where you can straight up tell them how it is, and you're not afraid to like to take charge of a situation, or like say like, dude, what you're doing right now is terrible, change it up.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes teams better. I feel like George and Dream and Bad and Skeppy, their team chemistry is just absolutely like unmatched.
Yeah.
Number one, they've known each other for 10 years, you know? Number two, they're not afraid to tell each other how it is, and, you know, tell them to take a different role or things like that. So that's why I feel like those duos would do well.
Yeah, no, I agree. And your reasoning too for the Puns thing is so right. And I mean, obviously things have changed, because somehow back at the start of season 2, it was completely reasonable for me, Sapnap, and Puns to be on the same team, which is...
That was crazy. Yep. I watched that VOD and I'm like, how is this allowed right now?
So I think it was something like, I was sort of still simmering around like 15th or something. I think it was Puns like second or third event or something. Sapnap was obvious. I mean, he's Sapnap, so he was still really good. But like, I don't know, there was almost like this air of like, oh, but it might not do that well. And straight up, I don't know if Puns ever did at this point, but like, I know for a fact in that team, Puns or Sapnap would straight up have said to me, you suck at doing this, stop doing this, do that. And like, I've been around competitive gaming enough to just take that on the chin, move on. I'm like, oh, you're probably right. And then, you know, we go from there. So I agree. I think that there's like especially between friends, like if you do play together already and you are playfully toxic or just straight up toxic to each other, you know, there's that level as like, as long as other people understand it, like as long as people know, you know, you and Puns are buddies, and it's not like he's absolutely just like ripping you to shreds and you're like so sad about it or something, you know, as long as there's like a precedent set, I think that that's what's key. But I would love to see both of those teams, honestly. I mean, I'm not sure how much they'll ever happen. Listen,
if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. Like
True.
It's now or never, I feel like. So
true. Like,
I mean, we'll see.
Next event, if you get Puns or Purple, you know what? Why not just give you both at once? Why not? Let's just get the event out the way.
A team of 3.
Yeah, just you, Puns, and Purple. Let's see what happens.
That's pretty valid. A team of 3.
So I have a question about you and other Minecraft events. Obviously, I've been in a bunch of Twitch Rivals with you, and I know you've been in a bunch of Twitch Rivals anyway. And I know that you are a massive preparer, which may not be a real word, but I feel like you're pretty big on preparation. I feel like you know who is good.
Guess so.
Yeah, you know, you have. I mean, I actually do have in brackets. Did you actually make a spreadsheet? Because I have heard that you made a spreadsheet.
Listen, okay. So let me describe
Please
to you this. So pretty much, Twitch Rivals hosts an event called Mine Draft, which is basically a captain's game mode where they put people into different tiers, and the captains are tier 2. So tier 1 is the best, tier 7 is the worst. Worst. I mean, less Minecraft skilled. Sorry. Like, So the captains choose from the tiers, like they have one choice, and it's like a snake or something, captains type of thing. I don't know. But like I'm always a captain, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the best way to prepare for that is to know every single player's skill set. Because in each tier, technically they're always supposed to be the same skill level, but in reality they're not. There's always a better person in tier 3, like at the top of tier 3 and the bottom of tier 3. And so before the very first event, Minecraft, I was a captain. I didn't prepare at all, and I got like last. And I was like, oh my god, I'm never doing this again. Like, I don't ever want to get last again. This game mode is so fun and there's so much potential. So the second round, or the second Minecraft, I asked, or I looked in the Discord and I saw everyone with the role, like who's in the event. And then I put everyone in a spreadsheet of Google Forms, and I rated them on a scale of 1 to 10, like their skill. I didn't know what tier they were going to be in yet, but I could kind of assume, like you can kind of assume people like puns and like purpled are tier 1, you know what I mean? So I just rated them. I'm like, oh, I feel like this person would do really good with this. And not everyone in the event is a Minecraft streamer. So some of these people are like Overwatch or Call of Duty or art streams. So I feel like if in the bottom tier, my mindset was like, go for people who have played competitive games before instead of have never played like a competitive game.
That makes sense.
So I don't know. I just rated them on a scale of 1 to 10 and saw if they played Minecraft before in their whole life. And then I just based my people choosing off of that. Yeah, I don't know. But I did end up winning Minecraft 2 and 3. So
yeah, well,
I think it was worth it.
I mean, again, let me just make this very clear. I love like some people deem over the top competitive nature. Like the spreadsheet thing, love it. Like the only other person I know who did it has the exact same logic as you, and it's Fulham. And
yeah, I know.
Fulham has won 2 Minecrafts as well, like in the UK. So there has to be some overarching thing here that says it's definitely helping when choosing teams, right? So
yeah, for sure. And I kind of, I try and focus on the team chemistry type of thing, and I try and put in my head like what role the person will play. So I don't want to choose too many healers. I don't want to choose too many like swordsmen.
Yep.
And then I usually go wherever is needed. Like, so I don't know. I think it is pretty useful. But MCC, you can't do stuff like that.
No.
Because, it doesn't really help at all.
No.
So what I did is I just made a little doc for my team, and like I put all the links that we should watch, like your Ace Race VOD and like the MCC highlights Ace Race thing. And like we just went through that as a team together, which I think was pretty helpful. And even just like playing games with your team, like dumb stuff like Bed Wars or like Fall Guys, I feel like that actually helps prepare, even if it's not playing MCC related things. I feel like getting the team chemistry and just getting to know each other is pretty useful.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, I fully agree. And to be fair, you sort of answered what the inevitable question was going to be, was that would you prepare in the same way? Obviously, you can't, like you said, you can't do the spreadsheet because you're also given your team outside of the one person you can try and pick. But you kind of answered it in that, the most thing you can do really is like VOD review, play with your team before the event, etc. And this actually leads into something. It's really funny because my worst placing event ever was MCC 18, where me and my team decided it would be funny to try and LAN. So I was working, I had a friend who worked at like a LAN center in the UK. So all 4 of us went to London and we played in the same room. First of all, worst thing we've ever done. Great fun and cool to be the first ever LAN team in MCC history. But just awful. And I actually only came over this the other day when I was clearing out files on my PC. I found the Word document that I made for the team called The Violet Winners, which couldn't have been more wrong. We finished 9th. After I said that Captain Sparkle's team would come 9th, and I'm still haunted to this day because I still don't hear the end of it from everyone ever. And just like looking through this, it's exactly what you said. It's just like I've got some like links to build more VODs that we should have seen. I roughly picked out who we should hunt in parkour tag. I actually made a chart with images, which I don't even remember doing that. So unbelievably, I really went extra on this one. So, but and I think that's the kind of stuff I love. That I love like people trying to find ways to get better, because I know you actually had a clip that went on the Reddit that I was watching that was like, you know, the whole fun versus competitive thing, which has been going on since MCC 3 or something, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm firmly in the belief of, sure, the event's for fun, but it's fun to win.
I was about to say that. It is so fun to win and do well. Like, even if you have a content team, it is so... I'll give you an example. You know that Twitch Rivals that we were in real life?
Mm-hmm.
At TwitchCon.
Yeah.
So my team was fully a content team. Like,
Yeah.
Quackity, me, Carl, Puffy.
Yep.
We were a content team. But I was like, why don't we at least try on this like castle defense type of game mode? So Carl and Quackity stayed back to defend. Me and Puffy went in and we fought. And we won, I'm pretty sure, all of our games. And after that, we all just stood up and started we started like screaming and we started freaking out because it is just so fun to win. And you can combine like content and doing well. But that was just, I was so proud of them, like in that moment that they did that, you know? And I'll remember that forever of like a time when I've obviously a content-based team, but we did super well and it made it really fun moment for the stream. So yeah. I don't know.
No, I agree. It's definitely fun to win. I mean, you know, obviously some people come in with a different mindset and it's just fun for them to be there, or fun to play the games, or fun to be with their friends.
Yeah.
There's definitely a select group of, yeah, there's definitely a select group of people, and I'm in it, where it's like, yeah, but it's fun to come first place sometimes, every now and again. Just a little tiny bit. So obviously there's been a bunch of things on the Reddit, and I know you've seen you saw the thread on good VODs to watch and stuff like that. So I know you go on the Reddit. So do you spend much time on it? And if so, do you think you will now look or avoid posts about yourself?
I mean, I think I will try to avoid them.
Okay.
I do go on the Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I like looking at things on the Reddit. I think that some of them are like the posts are really useful.
Yep.
But I do look up my name sometimes because I have no self-control. I have absolutely none. But I think as time goes on, I will probably not do that anymore because it makes me a little bit nervous for events.
Yeah.
Because it kind of validates that, oh my gosh, like people are watching my POV and really want me to do good, and there's actually is pressure. So I'll probably stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have.
I also love that. I love that. Like, you're like sat there like, I shouldn't do it. I'm gonna do it. like sometimes you just can't help yourself. I'm the same. Like sometimes I'll see a thread about like something like a game that I'm like, I think I'm pretty good at this game, and I'll look through and there's like no mention of me, and I'm like, why didn't anyone mention me? I'm pretty good at that game. Stupid Reddit. They don't know what they're missing. I'm good at that game. You'll see.
True.
Again, I was going to ask, were there any games that you sort of struggled more with than you thought you would? And on the flip side, any games that you thought were any easier than maybe they would be? Even if Sands of Time was for you, don't say it. H-Bomb will lose his mind.
Hard games, Rocket, Spleef Rush. Totally. I don't know what was wrong with me and why I couldn't do well. I just don't know how to use an Elytra, apparently. Even though I had an Elytra on the Dream SMP for like a year.
Oh, maybe that's why. It brought back some bad memories.
Yeah, it did get destroyed, but I would like do those like dolphin jumps and all of that stuff, but I just couldn't do it in the event. I don't know why. I feel like BattleBox was a little bit harder for me than I thought. I thought me and JoJo would pop off, but it was pretty hard. I feel like that map just made it more difficult. I don't know how to explain. I feel like the bow arrow potential of like shooting people wasn't as much. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, people kept rushing because it wasn't like raised or anything.
Yeah. And
it's so easy to rush. We got rushed like twice. But a good strat that I, figured out, which helped us win, was like try and like bait people into coming down. So I'd pretend like I was placing one wool, and then we'd like baited one person to jump down, and then Amesy and me just teamed on them and killed them. And then we won like a few games because of that. But yeah, that game was actually really hard, and I think I have to get better at PvP. Easier games, I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I'm thinking.
I mean, I think it's interesting because I think I guess you came from a point of view. I mean, did you watch much MCC? Like, did you watch MCC before you were in it, or did you just like
Don't
know of it?
tell anyone.
Okay.
But never.
'Cause-
I'm usually asleep.
Oh, well, fair. So that's what's so interesting, because I say this a lot, and I like to watch people VOD review my VOD. So if someone VOD reviews me, I like to watch them VOD reviewing me, because I think that's a good way to learn personally. I like having people say, do this, do that, or this wasn't good, this wasn't bad. But what I get caught up in is that a lot of the people doing it aren't necessarily in MCC, and it looks so different than how it plays. Like, sometimes I watch back clips. A perfect example is not the last MCC, the one before. I was in survival games. We were getting rushed in a building. We only had 3 players because crank gameplays lagged out. So me and Tommy were there. A team of 4 rushed us. And I remember thinking to myself when I watched this back, what in the hell was I even doing? Like, I hit SB once, and then I got set on fire, so I ran a little bit, and then I jumped into someone whilst trying to eat a gapple. And I watched it back and was like, why did I make those decisions? I would never do that if I'm like playing survival games on a server. I would never do that. But in that moment, it's so interesting. And I think that's why I wanted to know if there was anything that you'd have seen and then thought, oh, this should be fine. And then it wasn't. But, you know, you can join the Build Mart Haters Club. That's fine.
I'm a Build Mart hater, but something that happened that's kind of similar to that.
Yep.
Okay, Sky Battle. I'm in Sky Battle, just running around. The border's coming in.
Yeah.
For some reason, I decide to like make a jump into the border because I like don't know how fast the border comes in yet. And I don't realize, so I jump and try and block clutch onto like a block in the border. I don't know why. And then I just fall in the void. So basically I just jumped into the void.
Yeah.
Like basically what Tubbo did at Dodgeball is exactly what I did in Sky Battle. And it was just, I'm like, what did I just do? Like, genuinely, what is going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, moments like that just happen, and there's really nothing that you can do about it. And like people watching back don't get it because they're not actually there. But yeah, so I kind of get that too.
Like, I personally wouldn't have jumped into the void. Like, oh, yeah, neither would I normally. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I think we can officially now coin. I'm going to call it now. It's going to be called MCC Brain. That's what it's going to be now. From now on.
I like that.
When you panic
MCC
and do
brain.
something ridiculous that you would never normally do, it's fine. You have MCC brain. There's nothing bad is happening. So I know you saw, because I did actually hilariously write down for the Twitter section of this where we ask you a couple of questions from the Twitter. I did originally have your question down of ask about Rocket Spleef Rush, but obviously we've dabbled and poked at that enough now. So I have 3 questions from people in the community. And then we're going to have one final question for you from myself. And then we're wrapping up. We've already been here for 30 minutes. Time is flying. So the first Twitter question comes from the one only XYZ, who said, what did you find most useful in prepping? Was it like VOD review, jumping on the practice server, or practicing 1.9 PvP? Or anything, I guess. They just gave some examples.
Okay. I feel like practice server isn't useful. Like at all.
Say it with your chest. Say it loud.
I'm sorry. The only things that are useful are battle box and dodgeball, but that actually depends on people being there.
Yep.
Which isn't super often. VOD review is like 95% of anything that I've learned. The other 5% is like practicing recent version PvP. But oh my gosh, like I don't know what I would do without it. Like that Reddit document that he made was so useful. It's crazy. Like he put like every single game and like the best VODs to watch, and I watched like every single thing. And I feel like stuff like that is super valuable to like new players, or not even new players, just people that want to learn more about the game or like brush up on stuff. That's definitely helped me a lot. I was also playing CubeCraft, you know this, like every single day. I love CubeCraft now. It's like a Skywars recent version PvP server.
Yep.
And yeah, that made me actually really love the game, because I used to only play PvP Legacy, and that was like kind of boring. No offense. I don't like 1v1s.
No.
But when it was actually competitive and like multiple people, like 24 people in a Skywars game, it is so fun. I love that server so much. So that made me actually learn to like this version PvP.
Yeah.
Obviously, it will never compare in my heart to 1.8.
1.8 believers rise up. But yeah, that's interesting too. The practice of a thing I like agree with. People think I'm going to be good at Ace Race because I sat and grind out like that Ace Race course on there. Like, that has not made me better at Ace Race ever in my life. But it's just something fun to do whilst it's basically a just chatting stream, but I'm keeping myself entertained. Battlebox, like you said, it's rare people are there. Also, no one plays it the same way they would play Battlebox. Like, everyone's super aggressive. Like, they just sprint at you. Then it comes to the event, and, you know, like you said, unless you're getting wall rushed, everyone's kind of cautious, really. But that's really interesting. I thought it would be VOD review. I figured that would be where it goes. And it'll probably stay the same, too. I VOD review a ton before events. So, then, you know, I've been doing this a while now, so I still love the VOD review side. Next question is from, I'm probably going to butcher names, too. Tiana Janelle, who said, do you see yourself always wanting to be super competitive in MCC, or do you think there'll come certain events where you're like, I'll have a casual one. I'll take a casual one.
All right, hear me out.
I will.
After I get my first win, then we can be casual occasionally.
Okay, you want the coin first?
Yeah, once I get the coin, then we can be casual. But yeah, if I team with like, I don't know, people who are very like love like the content stuff, then of course it'll be like a content stream, and obviously winning won't matter that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you know, not everyone wants to win, which is totally fine, and I get that.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, after talking to you, and I mean, we know each other a little bit anyway outside of this, and like, I knew you were somewhat competitive. Like, I mean, first of all, you basically main bed wars, I think that's fair to say, and it's straight up competition at all times. So, you know, I figured there was going to be an air of competitiveness. So, and I had this written down before I spoke to you. I probably could have answered this one, you know, but the competitive side it's good. I think it's a good thing. I think the event needs more of it. I think we need so much competition that it gets ridiculous. I don't really know if I mean that. So the final Twitter question that we got in, which, well, not the last one we got in. There was actually a bunch, but I had to sort of scroll through and pick some. It was from Zapdos7771. Who said, overall, do you want MCC to be more competitive, and how interested would you be in an entirely LAN MCC?
That would be so cool.
Right?
Like, they have to do that. They have to. That would be so fun. Wow. And then meeting everyone and hanging out, I would love that. More competitive. I feel like it's good where it is right now, because not everyone wants that, you know, and not everyone that's watching wants that either. So I feel like where it is right now is super good competitive wise. But wow, a LAN event would be so fun. Yeah,
we gotta try and make the LAN happen. I feel like we're kind of spoiled now because we had like the Tubnet one, so it's like almost like proof of concept. Like, look, we really can get like 40 creators in a room and have them LAN. So I don't know, Scott Major, Nox Crew, you gotta start making the right calls here. Start calling some people up.
For sure.
We wanna get everyone together and have a big live in real life MCC. That's what we're rooting for now.
That'd be awesome.
It would. And the final question is, I always forget to ask people, so I made sure to write this down this time. Have you spent much time, if any yet, on MCC Island, and do you think it's going to become like a key way for players to practice for the event?
I've spent quite a bit of time on there. I really, really like it. Like, I think it's awesome. I think every game is a little bit different, you know, but I still feel like it's the best possible way to practice right now. Like, nothing else really compares in like similarity. So definitely, I think everyone's going to be on there like all the time. And I feel like that will probably make the skill set of every player go up. So if you're not playing on MCC Island, I feel like you might bump down a few on the leaderboards or like on the, you know, coins.
No, I agree. I do think we're going to see, I mean, I can't remember who I was talking to now, but they were like, it's going to be so funny when like just everyone is like deemed S tier because everyone's just got so good at like, you know, Sky Battle, is like basically the same. Like it's pretty much the same.
The map's like the same kind of.
Yeah. So like, you know, we're in a situation where like, if you grind that out, eventually, like, I mean, I know for myself, like, the one thing I suck at is, like, bridging. Like, I always fall with bridging. I'm not consistent. I've just been going at it in Sky Battle. Like, I get in a game, and I'm just like, okay, I'm bridging someone. I don't even care. And I'll just go, and I can feel myself literally in the, like, 4 days since it came out. I'm like, oh my, by the time the next MCC comes around, like, I'm just be speed bridging around places, man. No one's even going to know what's going on, especially my team, who are going to be so confused as to why I've just left them in spawn and I'm zooming towards the middle of a map. But I'm super excited for MCC Island, for more of it. Obviously, we're still in closed beta at the minute, and it's still busy now. So I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when it comes out of closed beta to open, and then from open to being released and real. And then we're going to have Tubnet as well. And I mean, we're just going to be spoiled. We're going to be spoiled for servers for the foreseeable future. So I am
for sure
very, very excited. Hannah, that is, we're done. We did it. That's it.
I can't believe it.
I know. So thank you for spending the time and being, you were guest number 3. And we are still, amazingly, I'm keeping on track with these. My big worry was that I wouldn't be able to, because I am only home for literally today. It's Wednesday. I got back yesterday. I'm here for today. I leave again tomorrow. So the fact we've actually managed to make this work, get it done, and I'm going to speed edit this about 15 minutes after we're done. Unbelievable. Thank you for being such a wonderful guest. You gave such detailed answers. So honestly, it was really good. So thank you very much for that. I don't really ever know how to end these, and I keep putting people awkwardly on the spot and say, you can have the final words, and no one knows what to do. So I'm not going to do it again. I'm just going to say thank you so much for being here. I wish you the best of luck in future MCCs, unless, of course, you're against me, in which case, competition only, going down, friendly competition. Thank you to everybody at home for listening. I've been Seapeekay, this has been Hannah, and we will see you in the next episode of the All Things MCC podcast. Goodbye.